Oh, how you doing? Okay, just a quick video on the LGBTQ question. So, well, like the argument is kind of annoying, we've all heard it too much and everything, and it's no secret I'm a trans woman. So, like the whole on our side of the argument we're saying gender's a spectrum. On their side of the argument they're saying there's only two genders, which is ridiculous. Why not be on the side of science? The gender is a spectrum. It was we used to think that there was just two genders and that it's always an X chromosome and a Y chromosome. Now we know that it's not always like that. Yeah, but I don't think that matters. I don't think that's relevant. I don't think that really matters. They're coming. Their hidden agenda is they're trying to protect their religious and political views. Their political views are based on their religious views. So their religious views, and going all the way back to the Adam and Eve story, which we know that in science we know that we don't come from one man and one woman. I mean, we do come from one man, but he wasn't the first man. It's just that we're all genetically related we are genetically related to one person, but he wasn't created like this Adam and Eve story says. And then the woman wasn't created out of the Eve. I mean, Eve wasn't created out of the rib of Adam, like they say. The whole myth of Adam comes from, like everything else in the Bible, from Egyptian mythology. Atum created the earth in Egyptian mythology, and Atum is where the name Adam comes from, which means mankind. And we know that the earth wasn't created 6,000 years ago anyway. Some people say, well, yeah, because after the 7 days there was more time than it says, but then that doesn't make sense either. It's pretty easy. So like their side of the argument is just there's nothing scientific about it ever. So they should be able to do that. It should be their First Amendment right to believe those things, but to enforce it and expect with force that everybody believe it like it's a fact is that's just not American. I think that's all just, it doesn't matter. I say gender's a spectrum, and all that, but that's mostly just for, I think on legal papers we should recognize 4 genders, just to make everybody happy. If there's 4 genders, then a trans woman isn't the same thing as a cis woman, That's why there's 2 words, cis woman and trans woman, and cis man and trans man, transitioned to that thing and wasn't born that way, Cis meaning the same, stayed the same. Transgender, transition to another gender. They don't understand the difference between sex and gender, and their side of the argument just isn't. It's easy to see that's just not where it is, and blah blah blah. Because I don't think any of that stuff really matters. What matters is we're Americans, and we have the right to pursue our own happiness. And the only way we can solve all our problems is unity and diversity. It's the bigger picture is the reason everybody should be more more adaptable. And then they're just exposing themselves. They're recycling the same things. They used to not want gay men to use the bathroom. Do you want gay men in there with your sons? And it just and then black people weren't allowed to use the same bathroom as white people, and on. And it's all just a recycling of the same thing, always based on religion. Of course, with the narcissist epidemic, that's what narcissists do, is use religion and use things like that to back up their thing, and they're manipulative. And so really they're just exposing themselves. I don't want to see their religions destroyed. If you ask the youth, most youth don't care about religion nowadays. It's not because the world's any more wicked. It's because a lot of it is because of their argument against LGBT people. They're shooting themselves in the foot. They're making themselves look bad, and they're just causing good people. I'm a good person. They're just causing us to suffer unnecessarily and things like that. So I think that it doesn't matter, the gender spectrum thing. Oh well, it is science and truth, but it's not a conspiracy or any of that stupid stuff either. And their side of the argument, it's easy to see, it's based on myths and it just, you know what I mean? So it's really just a First Amendment right thing. Shouldn't I have the right to believe my own theological views and to pursue my own happiness, the Bill of Rights, and just the whole, separation of church and state, and just it's more of like an American thing, I think, than a religious or even a political thing. Politics is supposed to be based on who knows what, all those things, I suppose. But that's what I think about the LGBT question, is that there's always been LGBT people, and like the law of Moses said that we should be killed, but that just means that we existed way back then, or that law wouldn't be there, and it had what they're killing us hasn't worked. We're still here, and we always have been. And you have to understand what propaganda is, and their argument is always filled with this hidden agenda, they select certain things, and it's easy to see they're being manipulative, and then it's like I recommend learning about transgender people, learn it from the horse's mouth, from other transgender people, so you don't have to worry that there's some kind of hidden agenda.